Welcome on into a live edition of Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here running through some of the latest on the Dirty Birds. We're going to talk about a former first overall draft pick who Atlanta could target in free agency, some Kirk Cousins trade buzz out there, plus a mailbag, so your opportunity to get on screen and take control of the show. Appreciate everyone for tuning in this Thursday afternoon. I want to start by asking this question, though. Should the Falcons retire jersey number 11? Atlanta does not retire jersey numbers, but they do just hide some away so no one else can take it ever again. So we're talking about this because some rookie jersey numbers, or all the rookie jersey numbers, came out yesterday. And Jalon Walker is wearing number 11. Julio Jones' number. So that's gotten some people a little worked up. And I thought we'd have a nice conversation about that. So let me know, do you think Atlanta should retire Julio Jones' number? Like I said, they have not traditionally retired jersey numbers. No one has worn Matt Ryan's jersey number, but no one's allowed to wear it. So do you feel like Julio should be in that same club? Give me a yes or give me a no. I know that the departure was not graceful. He requested a trade. The Falcons traded him. It was not a very smooth exit. But he's still the second best player in franchise history. Second best player in franchise history, I think, should probably get a little bit more respect than this. And I'm not saying like Jalon Walker's disrespectful, but it feels like the Falcons have completely, forgotten about him. So with that, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Shout out your city as well. We have over 90 people tuned in already. Appreciate everyone for clicking on the live notification and for hanging out with us during your Thursday. So shout out your city in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. We have nearly 100 people tuned in, only 12 likes. I mean, we're talking about 10% of you guys have liked the stream so far. Can we get the number up to 25 or 30? Come on. Click the like button. And I'm one of them too. I mean, I like the video. So I'm saying, that's even worse for you guys. Okay. George is in the house for Mark. Anthony's in Decatur. Jason is in San Diego. Dallas here. Mike is in Raleigh-Durham. Appreciate everyone for watching from all over the country. Well, I combined country in the next city. Texas of San Antonio from DJ Ray. And then Dallas already as well. All right. Coming up on today's show. It is not cut candidates. It is, sorry about that. We're talking news and rumors, and then we're going to look at some Kirk Cousins buzz out there, along with a mailbag. So we'll have a fun show that includes the latest news and rumors, the Kirk Cousins trade buzz, and a mailbag. If you want to be a part of the live show for the mailbag, use hashtag Falcons or Super Chat. If you Super Chat, you skip the line. Last time we were live, on a different show, someone said they've sent in a $50 super chat to text for Reed to text the girl he went on a date with 2 weeks ago. Did she ever reply? Oh, she responded. Okay, there we go. Oh, a second date came out of it. How beautiful is that? Conceived from a $50 super chat to text the girl Reed went on a date with 2 weeks ago and was too afraid to ask for a second date. Oh, I love it. Okay. Mark is tuning in from Atlanta. Alan's in Texas, Louisiana, or LA in the house. Chief is in Arlington, Texas. Marcus says Super Chat. So yeah, Super Chat and your question, your take, your idea gets on screen for everyone watching to see. If you're unable to Super Chat, that's not a problem. Just use hashtag Falcons, and producer Reed will pick his favorite questions to throw up for everyone watching to see. 118 people tuned in. I think it's time to get the white smoke up and start the show. So how about the US of A, baby? I'll tell you what. Italians are probably pissed right now about this because they take this. I mean, that's their thing, right? The Pope. They're going to be even more upset next year when we kick their ass in soccer in the US of A during the World Cup. So it's going to be a fun 12, 13, 14-month run for the U.S. just dominating the Europeans in the things that they created. I can't wait. All right, here we go. Let's jump into our first segment on today's show. Mr. Reed, are you ready? All right. I'm not ready then. One moment. I lied. I'm a big fat liar. Is it a good movie? I haven't seen it in a while.
Mike, this is fake news. I like Mike Nintendo Master. What are you talking about?
Are you talking shit?
Yeah, he goes, well, I know I'm not getting on. Reed don't like me. Mike, you'll be the first question. How about that?
All right, here we go. We've got some NFC South news to talk about. The Carolina Panthers released Jadeveon Clowney, former first overall draft pick, and I think anytime a pass rusher hits the open market, Falcons fans across the country just see like a bat signal go in the air of Falcon, potential pass rusher coming to Atlanta, because we are not going to say no to any potential pass rusher given how bad that unit has been. So let's discuss the possibility of Clowney, the former first overall draft pick back in 2014, so over a decade ago. I mean, it's going to make you feel old. Possibly going to a different team in the NFC South. I mean, for starters, you got to think that he'd have interest in the Falcons if he still wants to continue playing, given he's from South Carolina, so he'd get to stay near home, right? Stay in the Southeast. He does not have to travel across the country and go to the West Coast or go to the Northeast or anything like that. So I think at this stage of his career, he's probably content with not, branching out too far, but trying to keep things close to his roots in the Southeast portion of the country. So that's a bit of a, green check mark and an advantage that the Falcons have. Now, over the last couple of years, Clowney's been up and down. 2021 with the Browns, 9 sacks. 2022 with the Browns, he stinks, 2 sacks. Then he goes to the Ravens in 2023, 9.5 sacks. Then last year, he plays for the Carolina Panthers. A bit of a regression, 5.5 sacks. When you look at Atlanta's front five, Clowney's got a lot of versatility. He's played as an outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense. He has played as a defensive end in a 4-3 defense. So he would be a little bit of a Swiss Army knife in terms of his position versatility across that front five, which is something I could see a coach really coveting in a veteran at this stage of the offseason, going, hey, can you come in here and just plug a couple of holes and gaps for us wherever we need you? But I like the idea of signing Clowney, not to pin his ears back and get 9 to 10 sacks. I don't think that's very realistic. I like the idea of signing Jadeveon Clowney to help other guys get 9 to 10 sacks. I think at this point of his career, you're not going to get that big pass rush production out of him. But what you can get out of him is good run-stopping support on first and second down. And I think that would be a very nice role for Clowney, where if he can help the rest of the pass rush out by forcing offenses into tough third down situations, because they could not move the ball early in the series. Last year, the Atlanta Falcons pass rush, as we all know, is putrid. 31st in sacks. I'm shocked they had that many pressures, to be honest with you. But the pressure rate coming in at 20%, which was 25th in the league. But the reason why I like Clowney predominantly for early downs is that run-stopping ability, which he's always been an above-average run-stopping pass rusher. Usually those guys just look for the quarterback and they maybe take a play off or two on a run play because they don't want to waste their energy just to get a tackle when they get paid for sacks. Clowney, he's always been very stout against the run. But last year, the Falcons' third down defense ranked 31st in the league. You want to know why that is? Because they were bad on first and second down. People sometimes get too worked up on, you got to win on third down. All right, if you want to win on third down, make it as difficult as possible for the opponent to convert by limiting their gains on first and second down. Don't let them get to 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 5 because they ran the ball well on 1st and 10. No. Force them to get to 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 8, and you're going to have way more success. And you know what that's going to do for the rest of the defense? If you can get a better run-stopping unit on 1st and 2nd down, that's going to force 3rd and long, which is much more difficult to convert than 3rd and 5, okay? even a slight difference of 2 to 3 yards is the difference of 10 percentage points when it comes to the success of converting on third down. So if you can go from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 8, not only are you helping your overall defense out, but of course, you are then allowing your pass rushers on 3rd and 8 to pin their ears back because they know they're going to have to throw it. On 3rd and 5, maybe they throw it, probably they throw it, but not a guarantee, right? So I think Clowney coming in to help on early downs, while he may not be the guy that gets 8 to 10 sacks, he's going to set up James Pearce, Leonard Floyd, Jalen Walker to get more sack opportunities because the offense is now throwing on 3rd and 8 because they could not run the ball well on 1st and 10 since Jadeveon Clowney was out there. So I like the idea of signing Clowney not to be this team's number 1 pass rusher, but to be this team's number 1 assist man in the pass rush department by stopping the run on early downs. Before we move on to the second half of today's episode, we are losing, and that sucks. Saints Now, hosted by Trace Gerard, has picked up 201 subscribers so far in the month of May. We're 26 subs behind him. So if you hate the Aints, do me and everyone else watching right now a big favor and smash that sub button. Switching gears completely, the Falcons might have cursed themselves. This might be the next Bambino curse, the next Chicago Cubs, Billy the Goat curse. This is bad. And I'm going to tell you why, but I do have to give a quick shout out first to our friends over at Factor. Make this your best season yet with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any lifestyle. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. I love their salmon. It's a great way to get a little bit on the healthier side and shed some LBs. So get started at factormeals.com/FalconsChat50off and use code FalconsChat50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code FalconsChat50off at factormeals.com/FalconsChat50off for 50% off plus free shipping. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Why are the Falcons cursed? Here's why. The rookie numbers came out, and Jalen Walker is wearing number 11. It's his number from college. Crap. I have a bad feeling that this Julio Jones number curse is going to come out and slap Atlanta across the face. I know that that is a bit premature, and I am definitely, ahead of my skis right now. But not for some reason. I know the reason why, but for some reason, because I think it's a dumb reason, the Atlanta Falcons have not done Julio Jones many favors or shown him a ton of respect since his departure. They've given out his jersey number not once, not twice, but 3 times. Now, for full transparency and the full story here, all the facts, if you're wondering why have they not retired his jersey number yet, the Falcons as an organization do not retire jersey numbers. They retire no one's jersey number. Now, players that are icons and legends for the team tend to see their jersey number quietly retired, and no one wears it for a very, very long time. Like Justin Simmons, I'm blanking. This is a bad time. He wore number 31 last year, and someone's yelling at the screen right now, because this was a little bit before my time, of this Falcons legend wore 31 25 plus years ago. So sometimes we see numbers kind of get half retired and then come back out. But Walker wearing Julio Jones's number, I just think it's a little bit distasteful to the second best player in your franchise's history. Number 1, obviously, being Matty Ice. No one has worn number 2. And I suspect no one will ever wear number 2 again, or at least not for a very, very long time. Julio Jones, on the other hand, has seen two different backup quarterbacks that you probably didn't even know were ever on the Falcons roster get number 11. Now, Jalen Walker, as a first-round draft pick, I expect to have an excellent, awesome, long career. But for three players to wear his number since he requested a trade and the departure and the split from the team was not smooth. It was a little bit ugly at times. And so I think that's why we're seeing the Falcons not show Julio a ton of love at the moment. It does feel like the Falcons are not being a professional franchise. Whereas every other franchise, I want to say, maybe not everyone because there are some dumb ones out there as well, but the well-run ones would go, oh, Julio Jones? You mean the guy who holds all of these records for your team? And in the NFL as well? You've let three people wear his jersey number, and it hasn't even been 5 full years since he left the team? 6 seasons with 1,200 or more yards, third in the NFL. First in receiving yards in the 2010s decade. 300 yards in a single game. Sixth player to do that. Three 200 or more yards in a game, tied for 7th. And he's 16th all-time in receiving yards. So I sure hope that the Atlanta Falcons break out of this funk, to put it lightly, they've been in for nearly a decade at this point. We're closing in on it. And they don't get cursed because they disrespect Julio Jones and let another player take his number when his number should just be retired. Can we agree on that? I do feel that recently there's been a lot of chatter. Like, a lot of the rookies recently have asked veterans and legendary players of the team that drafted them to wear their jersey number. Abdul Carter asked Lawrence Taylor if he can wear his number, and he's like, no. I don't really see the allure to wearing a jersey number of a retired player because they made that number famous. Don't you want to do that with your own number, right? It's kind of like, do you want to go to the same college as your older brother, or do you want to go to a different college and forge your own path? I like the second option, but I know I'm right. I know I'm being silly right now. I understand that, but I feel like a curse is coming, and I understand that the separation between Atlanta and Julio Jones was, pushed and driven by Julio. The Falcons don't, I wouldn't say owe him anything, but in a way they do. He was incredible for them for a decade. So yeah, I wish that jersey number was just retired and it wasn't, treated like, oh, no one ever good has worn this number before. You guys are all welcome to wear it. Logan Woodside, have at it, dude. That does not feel like a great way to treat one of the best players in your franchise's history. So if it were up to me, I'd retire 11. I'd retire 2. I know the Falcons do not retire numbers, but let's change that because it's kind of silly. You don't have to do it for everyone. You don't have to do it for the really good players, but can you do it for the 2 best players in your team's history? Is that asking so much? I say yes, personally. But let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section below. All right. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Really appreciate everyone who watches all the way to the end of the video. You guys are awesome. I think we got a quick commenter club wheel spin coming up here in a moment. Get that on screen for you right in 30 seconds maybe? Or maybe not. Okay. Vincent, what did Julio do to piss off Atlanta? He requested a trade, and then there was probably some more things that happened behind the scenes. Got some questions coming in. All right. Wheel spin time. I took 6 commenters from our last video. Just tossed them in here to get 2 claps. Here we go. And shout out to, looking good for James. Shout out to James. Thank you so much, James. 2 claps for you. 1, 2. I'll see everyone next time. That's all right. What do we think? Where do we stand on this whole number 11 thing? I also think this is peak off season, right? This is when you know things are getting slow. And I understand that. I understand that we're kind of reaching for topics and slow news day. I love when people say slow news day, huh? You're damn right it's a slow. Like, why do you think I'm talking about this? You think I'm talking about this over a more fun topic? No. It is a slow news day. The biggest news items are Jadeveon Clowney getting cut, his ancient butt hit in the street, and Jalen Walker wearing Julio Jones' number. Peter, what's going on? I would just like to see the Atlanta Falcons treat the second best player in their franchise's history with a little bit more respect. Even if he was even if Julio was not, a professional in his departure, I'm willing to let the 10 great seasons he gave Atlanta overshadow maybe not the greatest goodbye. Taylor Vaughn with a $5 super. How many likes to wear a Falcons, Jalen Walker, or Juice jersey on the next live chat? For Jalen Walker, 1,100. Number 11. That seem fair? I got to get a Jalen Walker jersey. That's step one for me. EHYGO. If Penix gets us a ring, he will be the best Falcon quarterback all time. I remember last year people were wondering, hey, if Kirk Cousins wins a Super Bowl for Atlanta, and he only plays 3 years there, but they get hot the second year, he kind of has a random Nick Foles Super Bowl run. You know what I mean? Would he be considered a better quarterback than Matt Ryan? I'd say if Penix, wins a Super Bowl and then has an equally, impressive statistical career as Ryan, well, Penix is gonna, tilt the scales in his favor with the ring. But Ryan was incredible. So I don't want to diminish Ryan to the point where all it takes for a guy to be better than him is to win one Super Bowl. Let's not lose sight of how great Matt Ryan was too. James Montgomery, thank you so much for your super chat, James. Really appreciate you supporting the channel like this. Another one from James. Do you think Penix can lead this team to a winning season this year, or should we have gotten another QB in Sanders? James, I'll answer this question in our mailbag. All right, next up on the show, we're going to talk about Kirk Cousins. I think I've gone the longest this offseason without talking about him. So I want some type of award for this. But we do have a slight update from Albert Breer. If you have not yet, please click that like button down below. We are at 57 likes. I would love to get to 75 likes before we start the next segment. So smash that thumbs up button if you have not already. Yeah, I do. I want to take names from the chat right now. So I'm just going to call out 6 names from the chat to be in the wheel spin for this next segment. Start spamming A, and I'm just going to call out 6 names. I figured you guys I put Lav Essen. You guys deserve this since you're hanging out with me during a live show. Vincent Cutts for sure. Taylor Vaughn. You ready? The next one? Let's do Dave Joseph. I think we got to do my burner, Matthew PD fan. I'm biased. Way to play the host. How many more? 2 more? 1 more? 1 more. 1 more. Let's go with AJ. We can do another one of those for the mailbag too. How does that sound, everyone? DJ Ray with a $20 super chat. Ayo. Thank you so much, DJ. Tuning in from San Antonio, Texas. If this year's draft class works out, what other pieces do you think Atlanta needs to be a Super Bowl contender? Very good question. I'm going to give you the same answer I gave the last question. I'm going to answer it in our mailbag, but I like this question a lot. I like where your head's at. That's a fun way of thinking, DJ. All right, here we go. We have 66 likes. Can we get 9 more likes? 9 more people. Or let's get 70. Yeah. We can settle. Oh, you want 69, you perv. We're 2 likes away. 2 likes away from 70. 75 likes. Oh, we got to our original goal. Don't you love when that happens? All right. I'm ready whenever you are, Reed. Are you guys ready? They're ready. Here we go. I think I deserve some type of award for going this long without talking about Kirk Cousins trade rumors. I know I bore you guys with the latest on Cousins, but Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated put out an article earlier this week talking about the latest buzz on the Falcons' backup quarterback. So I just want to share that information with you guys here. Breer started off his article, I think, in a very organized manner, going through the timeline of important dates in the offseason, beginning March 15th, when he got a $10 million roster bonus for 2026 guaranteed. So if he's on the Falcons, well, he's got that for the Falcons. If he goes to a different team, another team could owe him some or all of that $10 million. Okay? So that was kind of the first notable date in the calendar. Then April 26th wrapped up the NFL draft. So Cousins reportedly told some teams before the draft, I will use my no trade clause so I don't get penixed again. So I don't get traded to Cleveland, and then at pick number 2, they take Shedeur Sanders. How funny would that be looking back at that now? So we get through the draft, and now he knows wherever he goes, he can't get penixed anymore. The draft has already happened. And the last notable time in the calendar is late July. That's when training camp opens up. And that, to me, is when the Falcons, I think, are looking to offload Kirk Cousins. Because if you remember, 2 months ago, there were 1, 2, 3 places that made the most sense for Kirk. Predominantly the Cleveland Browns. He was spotted in Cleveland at the end of March. I think he was there visiting the Browns team doctor, who then relayed a shoulder and elbow injury update to the Cleveland Browns. There's the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then the Minnesota Vikings have had some type of flirtation with a few veteran quarterbacks since Sam Darnold left in free agency. J.J. McCarthy is an unknown commodity, and he's coming off knee surgery. So I can understand why they are at least poking around a few veteran quarterbacks. But since then, since the start of free agency, these teams have been busy. The Browns have added Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. I think with those 4 quarterbacks, they feel content at the quarterback position. So let's cross off Cleveland. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they brought back Mason Rudolph. They drafted Will Howard. And Aaron Rodgers is still outstanding right now. Could he come to Pittsburgh after all? It's been a never-ending twist and turn and roller coaster with him. But maybe he decides to re-sign or sign with Pittsburgh after the NFL schedule release comes out, because he does not want to play a bunch of early primetime games like he has the last 2 years, or at least was scheduled to the last 2 years for the Jets. I've seen that theory floated out there before. And then the Minnesota Vikings traded for Sam Howell. So to me, I think that was Minnesota's veteran quarterback acquisition to give themselves a little bit of insurance on the J.J. McCarthy front. So if you're the Atlanta Falcons and deep down, or not even all that deep down, you really wanted to trade Kirk, but you wanted to get a good enough offer for him, so you played a quick poker game with everyone where you presented this front of, we're happy to keep Kirk as a backup, to drive up his value, to get a better offer from other teams. If that was your game plan, if you're Atlanta, has not gone to plan, because every other team has gone out and gotten a different quarterback, which I think leaves Atlanta with 3 routes, 3 options right now. Option number 1 for Terry Fontenot and the Falcons when it comes to dealing with Kirk Cousins and his future. You hope and pray that another starting quarterback gets injured in training camp. I know that sounds a bit morbid, but I think that that's what the Falcons would love to see happen, because you would have the best asset at your disposal to trade. That team would be calling the Falcons for Kirk Cousins. Now, how realistic, how common, how likely is this? Not that common. So I went from 2021 to present, and I looked at guys who were in line to start or were competing to start for week 1 and got injured. Justin Herbert injured his foot in training camp last year. He ended up starting week 1 still. So if this would have happened, if Herbert got injured this upcoming preseason and training camp, I don't think that the Chargers would be so panicked to go out and trade for Kirk Cousins. J.J. McCarthy missed the entire year, but it's a case-by-case situation here. I'm not even confident that J.J. was going to be their week 1 starter, even if he was healthy. Sam Darnold got injured in 2022 with the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield was also there at the time. I can't even definitively say if Darnold was going to be the week 1 starter if healthy. So in those two situations, Minnesota and Carolina, you think they would have traded for Kirk if that happened this offseason? Right? If you were to move timelines around a little bit? I'd say probably not. Zach Wilson, this was when they thought he'd be good. He got injured, missed the first 3 weeks of the year. Maybe the Jets would have traded for Kirk at that point. It wasn't such a serious injury, though, where he missed, more than 3 to 4 weeks of the year. Dak Prescott got injured in the 2021 preseason. He was fine by week 1. It's just not very common where we see a team that's a contending team with a clear-cut starting quarterback lose their guy in training camp and go, we're not going to chalk this up as a lost season. We're going to trade for a new starting quarterback. That's not a very good thing, a high probability thing to bet on. But that's option number 1. Option number 2, Atlanta keeps Kirk Cousins. They've said from the start they are happy to keep Kirk as the backup. And maybe I'm the one that's completely wrong, which has happened once or twice before. And they never were interested in moving him. If someone called and gave him an offer they couldn't refuse, then sure. But they were not actively seeking or searching to trade Kirk. That's the second option. I refuse to believe that option. And I know I'm being stubborn right now, and I'm dug in, but I still have a really tough time wrapping my head around two things. One, keeping a quarterback to back up your second-year quarterback when the veteran asked to be traded or released. That's a hostage. You want hostages or volunteers? I don't think you should want a hostage teaching and helping your second-year quarterback. Does not seem like a good fit to me. The other reason I just don't see it happening is he's going to be the world's most expensive backup, which the money side of things doesn't really factor in too much because you kind of already owe him that much money anyway, so what does it matter? But that's still just a tough thing for my small brain to wrap around is he's going to be like a $30 million backup. That doesn't seem like a sentence I can really envision myself saying in September. Option number 3 for Terry, who I hope is writing this down. The Falcons release Kirk. They do this huge charade of acting like they're happy to keep him as the backup while they were trying to find a trade. They couldn't get a trade done. No one got injured in August. And deep down, they never wanted to keep him as a backup because of what I said for option number 2. And so they just cut him. I'll expand on that in just a second here. But if you want to get a Jalen Walker number 11 jersey, James Pearce, what's his new number? We just had it on screen. We'll throw it up in a moment here. But if you want to get a Falcons rookie jersey, go to chatsports.com/ATL rookies. 27 for Pearce, 11 for Walker. But if, like I said, you are looking to add to your Falcons wardrobe with a brand new jersey, I don't want to see you at your week 1 tailgate rocking a Roddy White jersey. I like Roddy White, but come on. Let's get with the times a little bit. Let's get an awesome pass rusher. Let's get you in a brand new Falcons jersey with chatsports.com/ATL rookies. So when it comes to releasing Kirk, from a financial standpoint, it is not in your best interest. Like you take on a $50 million dead cap hit, $25 million for 2026, and there's no cap savings to be had. So don't add financial relief to the pros column for releasing Kirk Cousins. That is not a pro, right? You've already got your cap situation done with, so it's not like if you release Kirk, $50 million, like you get $50 million further into the red or something like that. No, you just don't have that ability to spend it on other players just because he's off your roster. I just keep circling back to the same point I've had all offseason. And this is a pure opinion-based thinking, and it's not rooted in stats or numbers, which is usually what sports arguments are rooted in. From a human side, I think it's a bad idea to have Kirk Cousins on this roster backing up Michael Penix. I don't know Kirk on a personal level, and I love to be wrong about this. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to show up to work every single day excited to be the backup quarterback. I would like the backup quarterback to be exactly that. Excited to be a backup and to teach Michael Penix everything they know, to help Penix get ready every single Sunday. I think that's not the case with Cousins. So, for that reason, I'm out. Will Kirk Cousins be a Falcon week 1? How many times have we asked this, you think? I'm going to continue to believe no, but it's been a roller coaster of an offseason. All right, are we ready to spin the wheel? We picked a couple of commenters out from the chat during our live show, which we're filming this during our live show. Airs every Thursday afternoon. All right, Reed, here we go. Big special shout out going to, my burner, Matthew Petey fan. Thank you so much for your support. 2 claps for you, buddy. 1, 2. All right, we're going to sign off and see everyone later. You know, I don't feel bad for throwing like a stray at Roddy White. I wouldn't say triggered, but I still get a little worked up thinking about his comments after the Super Bowl when he's like, I'd rather just not be there altogether. It's like, Roddy, shut the fuck up. That's not what we need to hear right now. All right. Trucker Mike is here. Yeah. Let's go. Bingo. All right. We get to, if you don't know, Trucker Mike is our resident trucker, and we get to guess which state he is driving in.
I have mine already.
Let's do this, and then we'll start the mailbag. Do you want to throw the instructions up for the mailbag? Super chat. I know we got a few super chats. We're going to look at those in just a minute here. But super chat or use hashtag Falcons if you want to be in the mailbag. Throw the hashtag Falcons at the beginning or end of your question in the live chat. Reed, what state is Trucker Mike in?
Because of the recent white smoke news.
Oh.
I am going with Chicago, Illinois.
Good, Illinois. I like it. Okay. I'm going to... Wait. New trucking?
Are we in 50 state range right now?
New trucking job? That I need to know. Extended route? Please stop doing that. Are we still in a truck, though? The whole chat is anxiously awaiting. New job, so I'm going places. New trucking job? Or are you working from home moving forward? Oh, thank God. I don't know the trucking world very well. Is that the equivalent of getting the call to the majors? Are you going to the big leagues with that one? Okay. I'm going to say Trucker Mike is in, give me Indiana. You said Illinois? I'll go right next door. The crossroads of America. Give me Indiana. Let's give everyone another 60 seconds to predict what state Trucker Mike is driving in. And then Trucker Mike, let us know where you are right now. Vincent says California. DJ says Arizona. I'm going to go with Indiana. Carson says Kansas. Lav S is going with Florida. Hopeful is going with Missouri, which that's the exact state you got it when you were correct like a month and a half ago. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Some of the Nuggets says Kentucky. Junior says Texas. Jeffrey says Missouri.
How about anybody who guesses where he is? We pick those people for the mailbag wheel spin.
Yeah. Let's add 6 names right now. Let's add Josh MC in there. Derek is going with Texas. Aiden says Pennsylvania. Let's add Maddie Ghost as well, please. William Roller says Georgia. We'll add Big Mo, who says Philly. Add Jason Greenway for sure. He's going with Texas. Let's add Michael Harris. Let's add Ammon K. We had 6? Okay. Trucker Mike, what state? No, keep it 6. Keep it consistent. Michael Harris got it. Wisconsin! You really are going all over the country. Okay. First off, congrats to Michael. You nailed it. Trucker Mike, I don't know if this is your first time in Wisconsin, but let me make one recommendation. When you get to a rest stop tonight, if you're staying there, get a Spotted Cow to drink. It is my favorite beer in the world. So get a Spotted Cow while you are in America's Dairyland. Mailbag time. Are we ready to rumble? You got to lead off with Mike's question. I don't want Mike feeling, neglected. Landon Hale's getting a question in. Maddie Ghost, avoid the lizards. Yeah, that was how I was supposed to be anyway. I just reshuffled it. Trucker Mike, you get yourself a Spotted Cow tonight. You're going to thank me later. They only sell it in Wisconsin, though. I'm 90% sure they only sell it in Wisconsin. 10% chance it's in Minnesota, too. Yeah, are they question related or are they just super chat related? If they're super Here, we'll just include them in the mailbag. If they're question related, if they have a question, yeah, we can include that in the mailbag. Just include that in the mailbag. Maddie Ghost, I see your super chat. So any super chats we got to? Okay, sure. Aiden, what's good, y'all? Hope you're having a blessed day. Also, Petey, the GOAT of chat sports. Aiden, thank you, buddy. Greatly appreciate your support. Love that. Thank you so much, dude. I'm not good at handling compliments. It's weird because what I don't want to do is give you the impression that I am not very thankful and appreciative of this, but I also don't want to spend everyone's next 2 minutes just on my knees sucking your dick for this. So I get in a bad, tough spot in between.
On that note,
yeah,
I do want to ask, how was the oh my God, you've lost so much weight at your brother's wedding?
So I did go to my brother's wedding this past weekend. It was good. I mean the wedding, but I'm saying the compliments. Like I had seen my aunt and uncles and my grandparents for a little bit of time, so that was kind of a fun little new me introduction. I've been looking back at some older videos. What a fat fuck I was. Someone should have hazed me. I'm actually a little bit mad at you guys for not hazing me earlier. I should have been bullied in the chat, looking back at it. Well, what the fuck, Reed? You don't have to tell me that right now. It's not nice. So, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. Mateo, this boy has not been in the gym.
I love how
this boy's been eating broccoli, tofu, and chicken for lunch and dinner for 3 straight months.
I love how you go.
That's the secret.
I love how you go. You should have hazed me. Immediately, I haze you, and you
go.
What the heck?
Don't haze me now. It hurts my feelings. I know. I'm kidding. We're still pushing through though. I've not stopped any. I mean, I took a break for the wedding, but my wedding's May 31st, so it is full steam ahead on trying to shed as many lbs as I can before the big day. Here we go. I'm ready when you are. What's going on, everyone? Welcome on into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, answering questions that came in during our mailbag, which airs every Thursday afternoon. First question coming in from Mike Nintendo Master. Looking at this team, I like how the running back room and defense look great. They need to get another O-lineman. That's my only problem besides wide receiver. I'm with you on the first part. Bijan and Algier are terrific. Defensively, great's a strong word, but let's go with hopeful, with some new, young, fast additions made to it. Offensive line's an interesting problem to point out. The only question mark is Ryan Neusel. Like Matthews, Lindstrom. Those are Pro Bowl, All-Pro caliber players. Bergeron is an emerging guard. McGarry is a bit of a liability, given that he's a run-first tackle for a lefty quarterback. But if Neusel can just be average, I don't need Neusel to be a Pro Bowler. I just need him to get lost in between Bergeron and Lindstrom and forgotten about, and just be a middle-of-the-pack center. As for the wide receivers, I love London and Mooney. Ray McLeod was such a pleasant surprise last year. I was such a doubter about him being a receiver 3 for this team, and I love that he just slapped me across the face and said, "Shut up, Pillboy. You don't know what you're talking about." So, as for the depth beyond that, Kadero Hodge played well against the Buccaneers in week 6 or whatever that was, but I agree that maybe you could be better at that position there. EHYGO, if Penix gets a ring, he will be the best Falcons QB of all time. Probably, yeah. But the devil's advocate to this, the counter would be, I don't love the idea that in order to be the Falcons' best quarterback of all time, it just takes winning one Super Bowl. Because I feel like that degrades what Matt Ryan accomplished. Matt Ryan was awesome. And one Super Bowl is awesome, too. It's more awesome. But, I just don't want the takeaway to be the bar's so low. Let's just respect Matt Ryan. That's all I'm saying. Not saying you're disrespecting him, but just, 2-second moment silence to respect Matt Ryan. All right, James Montgomery. Do you think Penix can lead this team to a winning season this year, or should we have gotten another quarterback in Sanders? I do believe Michael Penix can lead this team to a 9-8 season, right? That's the floor for a winning season. Yes. I do think Penix is a very talented quarterback who doesn't need a lot of development. Remember, he played 6 years of college football. So he is as close to pro ready as you're going to find in a young quarterback. He's older than a lot of the younger rookies on this team now. By a lot, too. So I'm fine with Penix. I don't think they needed to add another quarterback in the draft. Amen K. If Atlanta was to get rid of Kirk, would you expect them to trade for another player with the added salary? This is a little bit too NBA-y for me. Match salary for salary. That's also not really how it works in the NFL. If you trade Kirk Cousins away, I think in this scenario, you're picturing we're going to trade a big contract away and then we'll take on a big contract. You're not trading away Kirk Cousins' cap hit. You're trading away any unpaid but guaranteed cash owed to him. So why would you want to take on that money that you're working to get off your books? You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. We don't want to pay Kirk $20 million, but we'll pay this guy $19 million. Does that really accomplish a lot for you? I would say no. DJ Ray, if this year's draft class works out, what other pieces do you think Atlanta needs to be a Super Bowl contender? Let's say the Falcons in this situation here, scenario, have a Commanders 2024 season, right? Make the playoffs. That would be a surprise. And then win in the playoffs. Not once, but twice. Let's just say one playoff win, right? If they're going into next offseason coming off a playoff win, I'm thinking, what's next for Atlanta? I'd start looking at a new right tackle because McGarry is going to be a free agent. And you may feel like we really need to double down on Penix. Plus, he has, unfortunately, a long injury history. Let's not leave that to chance. Let's go fortify our offensive line since Matthews is getting old and McGarry's in a contract year. That would be one spot I would look at. Another position I would look at would be a new nose tackle. Onyemata's on the wrong side of 30. He is entering a contract year. Can you go out and get a 310, 315-pound defensive tackle to just clog up the run? Those could be two spots I'd look at in this scenario. Jackson sounds like Justin Simmons to the Eagles. I would be a little disappointed to see him go. I would love to see us run it back with Simmons one more year. Would hate to see him intercept Penix. He's not coming back. They drafted a safety in Xavier Watts, who he's wearing his number. That's one thing. But also, they signed Jordan Fuller, so they made two safety acquisitions. They're going to get DeMarco Helms back from his IR stint last year. Simmons is not coming back to Atlanta. As for the Eagles part of it, I could see that happening. I know last year there was some buzz about him going to Philly. I've seen the Raiders tossed out. Remember how late he signed last year? I do not think this is going to be something that happens in the near future. Blaine Wright, locked in from the UK. Walker on JPJ are the highlights from the draft. Walker and James Pearce Jr. are the highlights from the draft. But I'm looking forward to seeing Xavier ball out. Really think he could have that level of impact this season. There is something to safeties in round 3 of the NFL draft. Off the top of my head, and then I'm going to pause the video so I can fact check, and then we'll unpause it. Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates were both third-round draft picks. I want to see what other notable, and we'll cut this out, safeties were taken in round 3. Because you can find a lot of success.
The sausage is made right now.
Okay. Are we ready? Clear. Safety. This is great radio right now. Okay. 5.
I can sing. I can sing while you look up.
3, 2, 1. Now it's just loading. Okay. Now I'm really ready. Oh, no. Shoot. Undid half my work. I hate when it does that. Now I fetch results. Okay. So I just looked at notable safeties that were taken in round 3 of the NFL draft. And there are some very successful guys. Julian Blackmon, very good safety for the Indianapolis Colts. I still don't quite understand how he's a free agent. You've got Justin Simmons, like I mentioned. Jesse Bates was a third rounder. How about Tyrann Mathieu? How about Kevin Byard? How about Justin Reed? How about Morgan Burnett? How about Major Wright? You can get some really good safeties in round 3 of the draft. Or is Bates a second rounder? I might have lied on the Jesse Bates front. He was second rounder. So I retract the Jesse Bates part. My mistake. But the rest of it stands. Kirby Joseph, also a third round pick. Like, you can get some great safeties in round 3. So I am very excited for what Xavier Watts can bring to the table for Atlanta. Landon Hale. Kobe Bryant is the best UDFA signing in the 2020s for all teams. He was a 2-time Big 12 Conference Player of the Year. He had numerous interceptions for the Jayhawks. He is going to make this 53-man roster. He is going to push for a starting role week 1. He should have been a 5th-round draft pick. He's a very good UDFA. And Landon, I can't go off the dome right now with the best UDFAs the last couple of years, but he could very well finish towards the top of the list. We're going to look at some other questions in just a moment, but if you want to get a Jalen Walker jersey, you want to get a James Pearce jersey, go to chatsports.com/ATL rookies. I put that link already in the comments and description of today's video. It is a great way to support the channel. Jalen Walker's wearing number 11, James Pearce wearing number 27. So get your hands on these new Falcons jerseys when you support the channel by using chatsports.com/ATL rookies. Taylor Vaughn, under or over Michael Penix throws 3,000 yards this year? Over. I'm going to say Michael Penix this season throws 3,900 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Those are not eye-popping numbers, but I think for that being his full first year as a starter would be a very good, jumping off point for him. Carson Mifflin, what happens with James Pearce Jr. if Arnold and Floyd have great seasons? Nothing happens to him. He doesn't see the field a ton. If Leonard Floyd and Arnold Ebiketie throughout training camp in the preseason prove they are the top 2 edge rushers on this team from the outside linebacker position. But Ebiketie will be he's going into a contract year. Floyd is, well over 30 at this point. He's on a 1-year deal. They probably don't bring both those guys back because they feel that, hey, we already have a younger, cheaper replacement in our first-round pick from a year ago. Josh MC, who do you think would back up Penix if we got rid of Kirk? Easton Stick. That's who they signed a few weeks ago, and he is, I think, the best backup option they have. It would be him, Emory Jones. They'd probably add another quarterback during preseason. I could see them trading for one, just like how the Chargers traded for Taylor Heineke. But Easton Stick, I think, would be the answer to your question. We've got a few more questions coming in. Maddie Ghost, $10 super chat. Thank you, Maddie. If Kirk stays during the season, I think he will go to the Jets because Fields will get injured. I think the Jets go 6-3, then Fields gets hurt, and they request a trade for Cousins for a playoff push. I don't hate that line of thinking. That would definitely be something the old Jets regime would do. This new one, I just don't really know what to expect out of them. Their GM came over from Denver. Their head coach, Aaron Glenn, from Detroit. Depending on what the price is, if they can get him for cheap, then yeah, absolutely. But this is a very detailed and specific prediction here. So if it does end up coming true, we've got an alien amongst us. Aiden Stackhouse, what's good, y'all? Hope you're having a blessed day. Also, PD the GOAT of Chat Sports. Aiden, thank you so much. These comments never get old, and they always mean more to me than you might realize. So thank you so much, Aiden. Hope you're having a great day yourself, buddy. Jason Greenway, what's your over-under on sacks for the 2 first-rounders? I think like a week ago I said James Pearce Jr. gets 6.5 and Jalen Walker gets 4. So let's combine them and say over or under 10 sacks. Over or under 10 sacks. You might feel like there's a lot of great value on the over there. You just need 5 and 5.5 from the 2 guys combined. But it's not as common as you think to get a lot of sack production from rookies. Willie M, is a Kirk trade out the window? No, it's not out the window. It seems less likely now because everyone's got their quarterback. So I only see a trade happening if someone gets injured or we see something like Carolina a few years ago. When they traded for Baker Mayfield, they drafted Matt Corral, they had Sam Darnold, and clearly after OTAs and minicamp, they felt like that's not going to cut it. Let's go out and get Baker. So if a team after OTAs and minicamp decides this was not a good, month of practice, the pads aren't even on yet, and I'm nervous. I think you could see a Cousins trade happen like in July in that situation, or late June. Some of them Nuggets. Are the Steelers still a viable trade option for Kirk after drafting Will Howard? I don't think Will Howard is a major needle mover for the Pittsburgh Steelers decision makers at quarterback. I think you should be talking about Aaron Rodgers, right? If Rodgers joins Pittsburgh, then Kirk is dead in the water for going back there. But if Rodgers decides to retire, I'd say yes, that the Steelers are still a viable trade option despite them taking Will Howard in round 6 of the draft. Appreciate your question. We've got another question coming up next. Yeah, one last one. Vincent, we need to sign Gabe Davis or Keenan Allen for some competition with Ray McLeod. Gabe Davis is kind of a boomer bust receiver. Like, he has 29, I think, career touchdowns. And I think I'm willing to guess of those 29, I'm going to look up in a second here. How many games do you think it took for him to get like 29 touchdowns in how many games? Gabe Davis. I'm guessing those 29 touchdowns came in 15 games. Let's look it up. Because what happens is he gets like 3 in a week, and then he falls off the face of the earth for like a month. And then he gets 3 more in another week. Okay, I'll go with, what did I say? 15? Yeah. I'm going to go with 19. I like your guess more. Mine was a bit ambitious. All right. Making great radio. Here we go. Gabe Davis. His 29 touchdowns came, okay, I was a little bit off, in 26 games out of 74 career games. Yeah. So that's the Gabe Davis side. Keenan Allen, I think, is going to go to the Chargers. Wheel spin time. We were just a little off. All right, here we go. Let's spin that wheel. Big Mo! Thank you so much, Big Mo. 2 claps for you. 1, 2. When I said that, I kind of felt like Big AJ and AJ and Big Justice. When it's, oh, your brother died. I'm so sorry to hear that. Your brother gets 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. That still always makes me laugh. That is the most uncomfortable thing that's ever gone on the internet. Oh, we're sorry to hear about your brother dying. All right. We are going to sign off, and we'll see everyone later. Oh, so sorry to hear about your brother. Your brother gets 5 big booms. Big Mo, thank you so much for tuning in. All right. That will do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much. Are we all caught up on Super Chats? So, for full transparency's sake, should we make another offer for you to text a certain someone? No, okay. We got away with that yesterday. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. What about texting your ex? Reed does not like that. How much does someone have to super chat for you to message her new boyfriend asking how's it going with her? $5,000 Venmo for Reed to text his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. Heard she misses me. Just plant that seed and then leave the room. Just a little DM action. You know his name? You say that. I bet you do. I bet you do. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll sign off and see everyone tomorrow.